5 important rules that will change your English forever. Learning English can feel difficult, but it doesn't have to be. If you follow these 5 important rules, your English will improve faster than you ever imagined. Stay with me till the end, because rule number 5 is the game changer. Rule number 1, think in English. Stop translating in your head. If you always think in your native language first and then try to translate into English, it slows you down and makes your speech less natural. Native speakers don't think in another language before speaking, they just express their thoughts directly. To become fluent, you must train your brain to think in English naturally. Start small. Begin with simple words and phrases. Look at objects around you and describe them in English. If you see a cup, think, this is a cup. The cup is red. I am drinking water. Doing this daily will help your brain associate English words directly with objects and actions instead of translating from your native language. Use English for daily thoughts. Whenever possible, try to think in English about what you are doing. For example, if you are cooking, say in your mind, I am cutting vegetables. Now I am boiling water. The food smells delicious. These small thoughts will build your ability to form sentences naturally. Talk to yourself in English. If you don't have a conversation partner, no problem. Talk to yourself in English throughout the day. When you wake up, say, I am getting out of bed. I need to brush my teeth. When you go to work, think, the weather is nice today. I have a lot of work to do. This practice will help you think faster in English. Use English when making decisions. When you need to make a decision, try to reason in English. For example, if you are at a restaurant, think, what should I order? I had pasta yesterday, so maybe I'll get a salad today. By doing this, you train your mind to function in English naturally. Practice with a diary. Write a short daily journal in English. You don't need to write long paragraphs, just a few sentences about your day. For example, today was a good day. I went to the park and had coffee with a friend. The weather was nice. Writing helps reinforce thinking in English. Use English media. Listen to English music, watch English movies, and follow English-speaking YouTubers. When you hear new phrases, repeat them in your mind and try to use them in your own thoughts. The more English you expose yourself to, the easier it becomes to think in English. Be patient and keep practicing. At first, it might feel difficult to think in English, but don't give up. The more you practice, the more natural it will become. With time, you'll find yourself speaking faster and more fluently without needing to translate at all. By training your brain to think in English, you'll gain confidence and start speaking more naturally. Keep practicing every day, and soon, English will feel like second nature to you. Rule number 2, focus on communication, not perfection. Many English learners hesitate to speak because they are afraid of making mistakes. But guess what? Mistakes are a natural part of learning. Even native speakers make mistakes sometimes, and they don't stop talking because of it. The goal is not perfection, it's communication. Understand that mistakes are normal. No one speaks perfectly all the time. Even fluent speakers pause, correct themselves, and rephrase sentences. Don't let the fear of mistake stop you from speaking. The more you speak, the more confident you will become. Instead of worrying about every grammar rule, focus on making yourself understood. Prioritize meaning over grammar. Imagine you are traveling to an English-speaking country and need help finding a place. If you ask, where bathroom, people will still understand you, even though the sentence is incomplete. Of course, where is the bathroom, is correct, but the most important thing is that your message is clear. As long as people understand you, you are successfully communicating. Keep the conversation flowing. When speaking English, don't stop mid-sentence just because you can't find the perfect word. Instead, use simple words to describe what you mean. For example, if you forget the word umbrella, you can say, the thing that protects me from rain. Native speakers will understand, and this will keep the conversation going. Listen to how native speakers communicate. Native speakers don't always use perfect grammar in casual conversations. They often use simple words, short sentences, and even incorrect grammar. Pay attention to how they speak in movies, TV shows, or real-life situations. This will help you feel more comfortable with natural English speech. Speak more, worry less. The best way to improve your English is by speaking. The more you practice, the better you will get. If you focus too much on avoiding mistakes, you may never gain confidence. Instead, challenge yourself to speak every day, even if it's not perfect. The goal is progress, not perfection. Find a speaking partner or join a community. Practicing with others makes learning easier. Find a language partner, join online English groups, or participate in conversations on social media. When you interact with others, you will realize that communication is more important than perfect grammar. Celebrate your progress. Instead of worrying about your mistakes, focus on what you have learned. Every time you successfully have a conversation in English, no matter how small, it is a victory. Be proud of yourself and keep going. Final thought. Perfection is not necessary for communication. Speak with confidence, learn from your mistakes, and enjoy the journey of improving your English. The more you practice, the more natural and fluent you will become. Rule number 3, learn phrases, not just words. Memorizing single words is a good start, but it won't help you become fluent. If you want to speak English naturally and confidently, focus on learning whole phrases instead of isolated words. Native speakers don't communicate by stringing together individual words, they use preformed expressions, sentence structures, and common phrases that make conversations flow smoothly. Think about it this way: if you only know the word busy, you might struggle to express yourself fluently. But if you learn the phrase, I'm tied up right now, or I have a lot on my plate, you'll sound more natural. Similarly, instead of just knowing the word hungry, it's better to learn expressions like I'm starving or I could eat a whole meal by myself. These phrases not only make your speech more natural but also help you understand native speakers better. Why learning phrases is more effective than memorizing words. When you focus on phrases, you train your brain to recognize patterns of speech rather than translating words one by one. This makes it easier to recall the right words in conversations without stopping to think about grammar. Imagine learning a new language like assembling a puzzle. If you only collect individual words, you have to figure out how to arrange them every time you speak. But if you learn phrases, you're picking up whole pieces of the puzzle that fit together naturally. For example, let's say you want to express confusion. Instead of just learning the word confused, it's more useful to memorize phrases like, I'm not sure what you mean. I didn't quite catch that. I'm a bit lost here. These are real expressions that native speakers use daily, and knowing them will help you sound more natural in conversations. Another reason why phrases are important is that they help you avoid making mistakes. If you memorize the phrase, would you mind if you'll always know how to ask polite questions correctly, instead of struggling with grammar on the spot. The more phrases you learn, the fewer errors you'll make, and the more confident you'll become in speaking. How to learn phrases effectively. One of the best ways to learn phrases naturally is through listening and repetition. The more you expose yourself to real spoken English, the more phrases you'll pick up. Here are a few effective methods. Watch TV shows and movies with subtitles. Pay attention to how native speakers use phrases in different situations. If you hear a useful expression, write it down and practice using it in your own conversations. Listen to English podcasts or audiobooks. Spoken language is full of fixed expressions that you won't find in textbooks. When you hear a new phrase, repeat it out loud and try using it in a sentence. Practice speaking with native speakers. Whether through language exchange apps or real-life conversations, using phrases in real interactions will help you remember them better. Keep a phrase journal. Instead of memorizing vocabulary lists, write down full sentences and expressions you hear in context. Review them regularly and challenge yourself to use them in daily conversations. Examples of phrases you should learn. To help you get started, here are some common words and the phrases that native speakers often use instead. Instead of saying, "I don't know," say, "I have no idea," or "I'm not sure." Instead of tired, use, "I'm exhausted," or "I'm completely worn out." Instead of happy, try, "I'm over the moon," or "I'm thrilled." Instead of sad, say, "I'm feeling down," or "I'm having a rough day." Instead of angry, use, "I'm really upset," or "I'm not happy about this." By replacing simple words with full expressions, you'll start speaking more naturally without even thinking about it. If you want to improve your English quickly, stop memorizing single words and start focusing on phrases. The more phrases you learn, the more fluent and confident you will become. You'll spend less time translating in your head and more time actually speaking. Make it a habit to listen to real conversations, take notes, and practice using new phrases every day. Before long, speaking English will feel much more effortless and natural. Rule number 4, listen more than you study. While studying grammar is undeniably important for building a solid foundation in any language, there's a powerful secret that many language learners often overlook: listening is the key to sounding natural. Sure, you can memorize grammar rules and vocabulary lists, but if you want to truly speak English like a native, you need to focus on how the language is used in real-life contexts. Listening plays a huge role in this process, and it should be your secret weapon. The magic happens when you start surrounding yourself with English in a variety of forms. Watch English movies, listen to podcasts, and follow YouTube channels that use English. The more exposure you have to the language, the more your brain absorbs the rhythm, pronunciation, and natural flow of conversations. The best part is, you don't need to consciously memorize anything. By listening consistently, your brain will start to pick up on patterns and structures automatically. This helps your speaking become more fluid, as your brain gets used to the way words and phrases sound in context. When you listen to English regularly, whether it's through a favorite TV show, an inspiring podcast, or an educational YouTube channel, you're subconsciously training your mind to recognize the correct pronunciation and intonation of words. You'll become familiar with common expressions, slang, and the way sentences are built, which will help you to use the language with confidence and ease. You'll start sounding more like a native speaker and develop an intuitive sense for how English works, beyond just the textbook rules. By incorporating listening into your daily routine, you're essentially mimicking the way children learn their first language. They don't memorize grammar rules first, they listen, absorb, and slowly start speaking without even realizing it. You can do the same. Make it a habit to listen to English for at least 30 minutes each day, whether it's through music, audiobooks, news reports, or conversations between native speakers. You'll be surprised at how much your speaking improves over time as your brain gets better at recognizing the natural patterns in the language. Another great way to practice listening is by engaging in real conversations. Look for opportunities to speak with native English speakers or other learners, whether in person or online. This gives you the chance to apply what you've learned by listening and to receive immediate feedback. Even if you don't understand everything at first, don't get discouraged. Keep listening, and eventually, the language will start to flow naturally. The key takeaway here is that listening is not just a passive activity, it's an active way of learning that complements studying grammar. While you're practicing speaking and studying rules, remember to prioritize listening as a powerful tool that will help you become more fluent and confident in English. The more you listen, the more your language skills will naturally improve, and you'll be speaking English without even thinking about it. Rule number 5, practice every day, even if it's just 10 minutes. Consistency is the secret ingredient to mastering any skill, and learning English is no exception. You don't have to spend hours studying every day to see progress, just 10 minutes of daily practice can make a huge difference. Why daily practice matters. Imagine two people trying to learn English. One studies for 5 hours every Sunday, while the other spends just 10 minutes a day practicing. Who do you think will improve faster? The person who practices every day. That's because frequent exposure helps your brain absorb and retain new words, phrases, and grammar rules more effectively. Language learning is like exercising. Working out once a week for 5 hours will leave you sore and exhausted, but a small daily workout builds strength gradually. Simple ways to practice daily. The key is to make English a natural part of your daily routine. Read aloud from a book, an article, or even a social media post. This helps improve pronunciation, fluency, and confidence. Writing a short paragraph about your day, your thoughts, or a quick story reinforces vocabulary and sentence structure. Talking to yourself in English is another effective way to practice. Try describing what you're doing, thinking, or planning. Listening to English content, like podcasts, short videos, or songs, exposes you to natural speech patterns and common expressions. Using flashcards or language learning apps can make practice fun and interactive. Reviewing new words for just a few minutes each day helps expand your vocabulary. If you have a friend, colleague, or language partner who speaks English, send them a voice message or have a short conversation. Even texting in English can strengthen your skills. Thinking in English instead of translating from your native language is a powerful technique. The more you train your mind to think directly in English, the more natural your speaking and understanding will become. Make it fun and rewarding. Learning English doesn't have to feel like a chore. Find activities that you enjoy. If you love movies, watch short clips in English. If you like music, try singing along to English songs. If you enjoy social media, follow English-speaking influencers and comment on their posts. The more enjoyable your practice is, the more likely you are to stick with it. Stay consistent and track progress. Set a goal to practice for at least 10 minutes every day for a month. Keep a journal or use an app to track your progress. You'll be amazed at how much you improve in just a few weeks. Remember, small steps every day lead to big results. Stick with it, and soon, speaking and understanding English will feel natural and effortless.
If you found this helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more tips on learning English. Your support helps us create more valuable content to guide you on your language learning journey. Keep practicing, and see you in the next video.